as the CEO of the Nollywood Week Festival. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, we can say that the Nollywood Film Festival this year is a big success. How did you put all this together again this year?
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Nollywood Week is something that started last year, and from the beginning, the ambition was to stay relevant and to bring the best of Nollywood to the audience here in France, maybe later in other places as well. And I would say that we have applied the same recipe that we applied in the first time, and we are trying to actually increase the impact of the festival. So this year we have many actresses and actors, prime actors and actresses like Omoni Oboli, Rita Dominic, Chris Atto, Osi Ukeje, for instance, who came. And I believe that gives it gives even more weight to the festival. And it allows the people to see them, to touch them, take pictures with them, and realize that they really exist and exchange with them as well. And this is in the spirit of what we want to do in Nollywood Week.
And then talking about the recipe you just mentioned, what type of recipe, what are the secrets?
I don't know if it's a secret, but I would say determination and perseverance, because and resilience, you just have to stay focused and continue. If you believe in it, you have to keep pushing. And it hasn't been easy, but we have been able to attract major sponsors that allowed us to, that made it possible. And without them, without all the support that we had, we would not be able to be here. So I have to be thankful and grateful to them for believing in the project. And but if you don't believe in it yourself, then you will never be able to.
That's just wonderful. Where did this determination come from? Is it from your childhood, from your parents? How? Because you are really determined, humble, gentle, and I see you carrying cartons, the director. So where did all this humility and determination, sense of purpose come from?
I have a passion for Africa as a whole, and this passion has been going on for a while. I've had the chance to travel myself throughout the continent. West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, and I have this passion, and I just want to share not just my passion, but I want to show how attractive it is with the rest of the world, and here with Nollywood is really the same thing. It's just showing the best, bringing the best, making the best accessible and available for the people is truly my passion, and I believe that the result of that is just, I don't even want to think about the result. I think sky is the limit. I think a lot of things can happen, and I'll just be so happy if I could contribute to the growth of the industry, the Nollywood industry, which to me is my contribution to the development, in general. And that's what I want to. That's what I want to do. I want to contribute to growth. I want to contribute to development. This is something that is important to me.
Now, before we come to your travels, because your travels far and wide, which helped, I think so, this festival to the second growth of this festival. We're now in the second year. Now, can you tell our listeners around the world, in the United States of America, in Nigeria? We don't have a lot of listeners in France, but So, what did you study? Can we see your days in the university as a master? You have a master's in telecommunication, is that?
No. I have a master's in project management.
Okay.
And project management that will apply to cultural projects, actually.
Very good.
So from the beginning, I knew that I was going to work with culture as a whole, and I believe in the role that culture plays or should play in the development of countries. In the development of Africa as a whole, I think culture can bring a lot more. Culture can be a real tool for development. It can create jobs. It can create wealth, and Nollywood is a great example of that. So with everything that has been done in Nollywood, now it has to be taken to the next level. It has to be international. It has to. Nigeria just has to export its content to the rest of the world, the same way we import content from America, for instance.
Now, do you think that helped you? I mean, your studies in cultural management helped you to organize this festival. I think that's a good part of where your experience came from.
Yes, definitely. I think this festival is the result of my background, my interests, but also my itinerary. It's a combination of things, a combination of parameters, and I'm happy that it could all come together and create Nollywood Week.
This dynamic.
I'm really happy that it generated this. I mean, obviously, I'm not the only one behind it.
I know.
But it's in terms of the vision. I'm the one who came with the vision, and that's really, I think, the result of all these things.
And then you become a role model because everybody's following you, listeners, everyone. Serge comes there, a very quiet guy, and then everybody just follow the leader. Okay, let's just talk about the countries you visited, just briefly, because we have no time.
When it comes to Africa, like I said, West Africa, I've gone to Senegal. I actually lived in Senegal for a little bit, lived in Cameroon, lived in Central African Republic, spent a month in South Africa, spent some time in Kenya, visited Ethiopia, Nigeria, obviously, Benin Republic, which is the country where my parents come from, and then North Africa with Morocco. I'm a very curious person, so I like to discover. And it's funny because my connection with Nigeria, when it really happened, it happened in the US, actually. I was in the US for a year, I was in New Orleans, and my roommate was Nigerian. And that was like a true immersion for me, first throughout the music, and after music, film, and everything. And since then, I've never looked back. I've been Nigerian in my heart since then.
That's just wonderful. Now, having visited so many African countries, will you come up one day to change the name of the festival, Nollywood Festival, to African Festival, Film Festival in France?
There could be some evolution. We're not closed, and we don't want it to be something that is only restricted to Nigeria. But at the same time, I think there are a lot of initiatives that are about Africa as a whole, and I feel like sometimes they just don't fulfill that purpose. It says Africa, but at the end of the day, they talk about maybe 2 or 3 countries. It's not really Africa. So I just want to be careful about the use of that word. I think it's been misused so many times. That's why I didn't want to venture into something that would be an African film festival. Because if I do that, I want to make sure that Namibia is in it. I want to make sure that Seychelles even is in it, which is, when you talk about Africa, I like to talk about Africa as in a thorough sense. I don't like to just say Africa the way it's been said, because I don't think it's true. I think one thing I love about Africa is the diversity of this continent, and I think a lot of time it is completely neglected. It's not put to the forefront. Africa is a very diverse continent, but we have a vision of it that is very narrow, unfortunately, and I want to change that. So by doing things on countries at first, right now it's Nigeria, we have a little bit of Ghana included there with, but it allows people to really become familiar with Africa, actually, instead of just saying Africa and not focusing on Africa.
Now, the last question, not to take much of your time, would be what's going to be the future of Nollywood Week Film Festival in France? I came all the way from Chartres, a good number of people are coming, and then other people haven't heard about this festival. I think next year is going to be something bigger than this year, so what's going to be the future?
That's a good question. We don't have the answer yet. We have to take the time to think, to evaluate, and to analyze and see what's next. It would be good if it could really grow and become something that, I don't know if it has to travel to other places or if it has to just be in several cinemas at the same time so that more people can come. It's all part of the thinking that we are doing now. So we'll see.
Thank you very much.